your eyes on the last Mohican. This is, as far as I know, the last brand new Kawasaki EX500 in the world today. This one has 9 miles on it. It had never been ridden, didn't even have oil in it. It was fresh out of the crate when we got it, when it was shipped to us. And of course, in the sake of preservation, the bike needed to be gone through and serviced, and I'll go over that in a second, but just unheard of. This is the only new one for sale in North America today. It's one of one. This is a Kawasaki twin cam 8-valve EX500. My favorite color combo for this model, black and red. That's what we're painting all of our race rig and all of our trucks. Everything is, we're going black and red this year. So this is a really cool piece, man. I had one of these maybe 10 years ago that I got in, and it was my personal ride that I kept at my house. It had a Cobra F1 exhaust on it, and it sounded freaking wicked coming down the street. It sounded like a high-performance Ducati or something like that. It just had a wicked sound all of its own. It's basically half of a Ninja 1000, the cylinder configuration, the valves and everything. It's 500cc. It's like having half of a Ninja 1000, but in a lightweight chassis. And they road race these. They're not only a phenomenal commuter bike, but they're outstanding for road racing. Unequaled performance in its class. It's a bulletproof double overhead cam, 8-valve parallel twin 500cc Ninja. It'll put down 49 rear wheel horsepower with 11,000 RPM redline. I didn't bring it over 5,000 RPM because it's brand new. I want to let it break in properly. This bike has 118 mile per hour top speed. Key and CV carbs for performance and economy. They're one of the best carbs you could put on a bike like this. The fuel economy is ridiculous. It gets 64 miles per gallon. Smooth linear power delivery, ultra sturdy frame, it provides excellent handling, and it's a typical Kawasaki reliability and performance. For about a decade, this was the choice for amateur road races around the world, so most of them got hammered into the ground. Very few of them survived in stock original mint condition, and I don't think any of them survived in never ridden like this. So I don't know of any other new ones around. Front and rear disc brakes provide excellent stopping power. It has the single shock rear suspension. So lightweight, 430 pounds, low seat height. It's a perfect sport bike, lightweight, easy to manage, excellent fuel economy, and it performs phenomenal. So excellent bike for not only a beginner, but also an expert rider, because it handles ridiculous on a track. You put it in the hands of a pro rider, and this thing will just, they dominated the race scene for the 500 class for many years. When we got it, it had, I think, 5 miles on the odometer. It has 9 now, and mostly for me riding it up and down the street here. And this thing is all stock and original. We did go right through. I'll get into that now. This is a perfectly preserved time capsule, unlike any I've seen. 88. So the bike's how long? So that's 36 years, almost 40 years old. So we've sold over 6,000 classic motorcycles here since we opened the doors, and on both my hands I could count the amount of under 10 brand new motorcycles came through here that were this vintage, 30 years old or older. It just doesn't happen. Most people don't have the peace of mind to do that. So of course it needed a new battery, so we went right through it, put a new battery in it, changed the oil with new Spectro 1040 engine oil, flushed the engine coolant out with new engine ice engine coolant, removed, disassembled, and completely cleaned the carburetors, removed the carb fuel screw caps, set the fuel screws, jetted the carbs, completely rebuilt them, tuned and balanced them, so they're better than they were brand new. The fuel tank was flushed, cleaned, and inspected inside. It was just maybe a little dust in there. That's about it. So we put VP94 non-ethanol fuel in it. We went through, checked and cleaned the air box and the air filter, which were both brand new. Flushed the front brake fluid, bled the brakes with new brake fluid, and did the same thing with the rear brakes. The front and rear tire pressures were set. These are obviously the original 1988 date code tires with 9 miles on them. So I think if I was going to race it or daily ride it, I would take these tires off and either store them as proof of the low miles, or I don't know. I mean, they check it out. Still has a hairy nubs on them on the front tire. They're not, and ironically, they're not dry rotted because it was kept in an excellent environment where there wasn't a lot of fluctuation in temperature or whatever. So there's no dry rot on them. So we went to the detail shop where it was hand washed and fully rotisserie detailed, and the painted surface we're given a new coat, which is the wax that we got from the Lars Anderson Museum that they use there. It's a polymer coating wax, so like a once a year wax. So when we got it in, there was a little bit of shipping damage on this fairing right here on this side, sadly. So Woody repainted this fairing, and we've got new decals for it. I think there might have been some scratch or something on this panel too that he might have fixed, but I can't even tell. I'd have to ask him. There is a little bit of damage on this pipe right here when they shipped it, sadly. But that happens, you know. I mean, it's like trying to carry an egg around for 40 years and not drop it, you know. So over the course of 40 years, sometimes these things happen. So we fix them. You would never, ever in a million years know we had done that because it was done professionally. But I wanted to tell you that because I'd want to know. The only defect that I saw anywhere on the motorcycle is there's a little, see this, other than what I just mentioned, was you see this tiny little hairline crack right there? Does the camera pick that up? Can you zoom on that? Does it show that? Yep, tiny little hairline crack. And then there's a tiny little hairline crack right here also. Guys, it still has the sticker from Kawasaki when the dealers prep a bike that they take off. I thought I'd leave it on there because if you look closely at it, it says no oil on there, has the VIN number and the barcode. So you know, we obviously put the oil in it and gave it a full rotisserie detail. So I don't know what the exact numbers were on the work order, but the work order came out to $2,520 for parts and labor for everything we did to it. So and it is the last brand new one in the world that I know of that's for sale today. So maybe there's some tucked away in a collector's collection, but this is the only one that's for sale. Still has the original stickers on the tank. It's the finishes that they laid down on this thing, the paint, the powder coating they put on the engine cover, usually that's all faded and rusty and everything. This is day one fresh, original Bridgestone tires. It just doesn't get any better than this, guys. So if you're looking for a really rare diamond that to add to your collection and you're a perfectionist, well, your ship came in. This is the one, man, and it's one of one, so I wouldn't hesitate. This is Wilnut. All these new bikes that we get in, the 10 or so new fresh out of the case bikes. We had a 100th anniversary Harley Sportster. We've had a couple of CRs. This, I honestly, I can't even remember what the other ones were because there's been thousands of motorcycles that came in that were high miles or ones we restored or whatever the case may be. But factory fresh ones like this that are 36 years old are totally, well, it's a time capsule. It's unobtainium. You just don't see them. I love the way mine sounded with the pipes on it. It has a wicked howl to it with the F1s on it. But if you like them stock, keep it stock. It's probably worth more stock. But if I was going to ride it daily, I'd put some nice sticky Michelins on it, a Cobra pipe, and that's about it. Get it dialed in. Thanks for watching, and God bless America.